Hey everyone, it's Jordan Faith. Here on my channel, I do all sorts of things with the curly girl method. If that's something you're interested in, please subscribe. I upload a new video every Thursday. Today, I decided to try the top-down curls method by Katie from Type of Beautiful here on YouTube and over on Instagram. This is an upright styling technique that's supposed to help you get volume and definition for your wavy curly hair. I'm trying it for the very first time today with pretty much no prior experience with upright styling my hair, and I wanted to share the entire process with all of you. Let's head to my shower to get started. Here we are in my shower, and even though this isn't part of the top-down curl styling method, I really like watching the wash process when I watch a curly hair YouTube video, so I wanted to include it. So I'm wetting my hair and going to shampoo with the Talia Waheed Silk Milk shampoo. And I really like this shampoo. I got it for Christmas from my best friend, and I just love the texture. I really like the smell. It's really easy to distribute throughout the hair. It gives me a really nice clean without being overly stripping. So I'm just going to gently scrub my scalp with that and then thoroughly rinse it out and squeeze it through my ends. Then I'm going to take the Garnier Fructis Smoothing Treat Conditioner and apply that to my mids and ends. And then finger detangle, starting at the bottom and going up always so that I don't rip through any tangles and damage my hair. Then I'm going to do a really quick squish to condition to help that conditioner mix with the water and really absorb into my hair strands and moisturize them. Then I'm going to take the wet brush and just brush that through to make sure that the conditioner got onto every hair strand and was completely evenly distributed. Then I'm going to rinse that out thoroughly before moving into the other room to start this new styling process. So I took some wonderful advice from one of you commenters and revisited a form of wet plopping when switching from the shower to my other room to style for these videos. So I just did a shower cap and then covered it with one of my new turban towels, and it didn't drip all over me. So thank you for bringing that up. I'm getting this started with the As I Am Classic Leave-In Conditioner and just working that little amount throughout my entire head of hair, making sure that it's still detangled and that it's getting evenly distributed. You can tell that my hair is soaking wet. That is how Katie says to keep your hair. And now I'm going to start by sectioning out the first section, which is just going to be a rounded top section in the middle of my head at the front. And I'm going to twist it to keep it separate from the other hair, and then twist up the rest of the hair and clip it to the back of my head to keep it out of the way and keep it wet and keep it from dripping all over me. So now I'm taking the Inasi Rock Your Curls Curl Cream and raking that through. And then I realized I made a mistake. And I forgot to put the mousse at my roots first. So I'm just brushing that straight up, which is what I was actually supposed to start with. And I'm using my Perfect Hair Care brush. And then I'm going to take the Not Your Mother's Curl Talk Mousse and Target apply that at the roots. I make a couple of hiccups throughout this video because I have a pretty bad memory. I knew that I should get out my laptop so I could watch this as I did it, so I wouldn't get the steps all out of order while I was recording, but I didn't. So I did mess up the order a couple of times, not to the point that I think it really messed things up. I Target applied that mousse. Now I'm just brushing my hair through again, and then I'm scrunching. And you're supposed to do this entire process soaking wet, so I did add water with my misting bottle throughout the process, but I don't think I added enough. My hair loses water so quickly during the styling process before I seal it in, so I think that was another mistake I made, was that my hair was not absolutely dripping wet, which I've been making that mistake a lot lately, but I'm hoping to remember to correct it so I get better results. Now I'm taking the Giovanni LA Hold gel and scrunching that in. And that's the first section done. Now I'm releasing the rest of my hair, and I'm going to take an L-shaped section on either side of that middle section, going straight back from my ear. Moving toward the middle. So it's like I'm drawing an L with my finger, and I'm going to take that little section and do the same process. Target apply the mousse at the roots. Remember that I forgot to brush it straight up, which you're supposed to do first, but like I said, I don't think it's too horrible that I accidentally applied the mousse before brushing, but brush those straight up, and I took that section on both sides. I would recommend that when you're doing this for the first time, that you take one section at a time. I tried to do it just like Katie does in her video, and do the section on my right and the section on my left at the same time. And I would not recommend that. It wasn't that hard to keep them separate, but if you really struggle with this kind of thing like I do, I would definitely do one section at a time and leave the rest clipped back. Then I raked through and applied more of that cream, brushed it through again to smooth it, and I'm scrunching. In Katie's video, she only brushes after the cream the first time she applies it. She brushes each section first and then applies the foam and the cream, and for the top section she brushes after the cream, but the rest she just scrunches it in. I was more comfortable brushing after applying the cream each time, so I did do that. It did add some extra steps obviously, but I thought it would be worth it to smooth everything down again after adding the cream. So I did that, and now I'm just scrunching that section to help encourage the curl. And now I'm adding some gel to each section. The next section I'm taking is kind of like the section in the middle back of my head. So it's right behind that first section I took. And I'm trying to twist it to keep it separate, and then I'm twisting up the last section in the back which is the section at the nape of my neck. So now I'm taking this fourth section and brushing it straight up. Then adding the mousse at the roots. And I'm actually doing this one in the proper order. And then I am trying to locate that section again and add the curl cream. This was by far the hardest section to do because I just could not figure out how to keep it separate from everything else. So again, I'm brushing that through after the cream to smooth everything down, and then I am scrunching. And then I am scrunching in some more gel. And at this point, she kind of lets her hair just go all together in the front and top. So that's what I did. And I started flipping it from side to side, just so that everything would come together. Now I'm taking down that last section at the back of my head, brushing it. And she says not to worry about doing the mousse at the roots in this section because it's the back bottom of your head. You don't really have to worry about volume in that area, but you could apply it if you wanted to. I decided to skip it and just rake and brush through the cream and then scrunch. And of course, then I scrunched in the gel. And then just scrunched everything all together so it was all one head of hair and not in a bunch of little sections anymore. And then I'm just shaking it off the back of my head, like Katie says to do in her video, so that the back won't look all weird. And now I'm going to microplop with a t-shirt, like she says to do, but like I always do anyway. And then I'm going to diffuse. And I'm diffusing on low speed and low heat. And I'm pixie diffusing because that's what Katie does in her video. And she does it differently than I do. She scoops it up, but then doesn't press the diffuser up against her head. She just kind of cups her curls and just holds them up in the air, like you can see here. So I decided to follow that. I was worried about how my roots would dry, but it didn't seem to be a problem. But so I just went through and tried to diffuse just like she did in her video. So I would be following the same process, start to finish. I always love watching the wet to dry hair. It's such a cool transformation. Like I said, I made a lot of mistakes in this process. Katie herself says she did it like 5 times or something before she recorded it, and that was very smart. This isn't super hard, it's just, it takes some coordination and some memory, which are not always my strong suit in this department. So this is how it's looking after diffusing, and I'm gonna finish air drying. Alright, so I diffused for just about 25 minutes, and my hair was very close to being fully dry at that point, but I went ahead and air dried from there, and it's been just a couple hours. I feel like my hair dried a lot faster than it normally does. I don't have any kind of cast. I don't know if I didn't use enough product or I used too much cream and leave-in compared to how much gel I used, but it looks like I still have decent hold. I just don't have any crunchy cast. But I'm still gonna flip my head over and scrunch out the crunch and fluff my roots. Also, sorry about the ring light glare. It's brand new and I'm figuring that out for the next video. And these are the results. It definitely turned out different than I expected. I like the definition that I have in the front and on the top, but I think the back sections might have gotten a little bit stretched out. I did have a little bit of trouble styling that section, but that's nothing new for me. And I think for my first time trying this, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think with some more practice, I could get some really decent results using this method. I definitely have a lot of volume for me at least, and I'm really happy about that. I just wish I could have gotten it a little bit more uniform. But again, this was my first time trying this, and I did mess up a couple times, but with practice, I think this would work really, really, really well. I really hope you enjoyed watching me try this out for the first time with absolutely no experience upright styling my hair like this. And I hope it gives you the confidence to try it for yourself if you're a little nervous that you might not be able to do it because that's not how you normally do your hair. If you did like this video, please hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. Subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell if you want to see more experiments like this, and I'll see you next time.